Hi guys, it's Floz and this is Floz's Corner. In today's video, I will be showing you what I've been up to for the month of March. Now, even at the start, I already know this is going to be a long video because I've got stuff to say. So make sure you grab some kind of beverage, grab a project to stitch, and let's get into it. Today is Friday, well, Easter Friday actually, 29th of March. And if you do celebrate Easter, happy Easter! Here is my little attempt at, I don't know, Easter celebration and making this video a little bit more celebratory. Well, I feel like there's a lot I want to talk about, so my brain is a little bit weird at the moment. Can I just show you this like earring I just bought? There is this local craft market kind of stall in the I guess shopping center that's really close to our house, and we just went in because we saw a little like advertisement on social media, and I got these like handmade, I don't know, metal dolphin earrings. These like dangling earrings. They look really good. So I just wanted to showcase them. And geez, how do I start this video? Like what I said, this is going to be a very long one, and I don't normally make my video on like a weekday. It tends to be on a Saturday, but because of Easter we have a long weekend, so it goes from Friday to the Easter Monday, and some people even get Easter Tuesday off. Well, unfortunately I don't. So I thought if I get this filmed and edited on a Friday, then once it's uploaded, people will have time to watch it during Easter. You know, they can do their stitching and watch some floss tubes, so that would be nice. And with my videos, it tends to be divided into different chapters. I always have like the chapters down in the description box, and you can just, you know, skip to whenever you want to skip to. And it tends to be like haul first, and I'll talk to you about like my hobby budget and stuff. And then it's whips, maybe some stitching or filming plans if I've got any, and it's life updates. Now I find when I segregate life update too much with the stitching stuff, it's as if I am trying to do my job. I just film, tell you what I need to show you stitching wise, and then just get off. But then if I put too much life update in with the stitching stuff, some people tend to get bored because they're like, you know, we're here for the stitching, we don't want to hear your life story. So I think there's a fine line between, I guess, getting personal and getting too personal. So I guess for now, like the stitching part might have some life update, but it won't be like a major story or anything. Anyway, I've got my notes here because I think I've got a lot to say, and if I don't have my notes, I'm gonna forget everything. And is there anything else before I really get into the video? Water first. Okay, so let's talk about haul. I think in the last video I was saying I can't really think of anything to buy, and I thought I would be able to save some hobby budget. And if you haven't watched my videos before, I am on hobby budget. It is $50 a month, and the hobby budget is used to buy mostly everything hobby related, like cross stitch related in this case. So accessories, kits, charts, fabrics, anything you can think of. If it's something quite universal, maybe I won't include it, but it doesn't happen super often. And from last video, I've got $77.73 left. And I'm happily and sadly reporting that right now I am in the negatives. So at this point, I know I'm going to name this video some kind of random nature, random impulse, that kind of title, because the purchases this month were quite random and it just kind of happened. The first thing I got was Cross Stitch Saga. It is a cross stitch app. I don't know too much about it, but for me, it's like an app that's specifically designed by Russian and Ukrainian stitchers because they serve a lot for like dimensions, 𝐕𝐸𝐻 or letter stitch, like those saga files. And it includes all the stitches. So it's not just cross stitch or actually it differentiates the cross stitch and half stitches. And it also counts back stitching. But Saga only uses Saga files, so it doesn't read normal PDFs, which means you have to make a file specifically for that. And that's kind of only applicable for like Russian or Ukrainian designs. Now I got it because Laura from 𝐈𝐦𝐩𝐿𝐷𝑒 kept talking about like how Saga made her life so much easier stitching dimensions and whatever, or like Russian designs, because it counts everything, and it's kind of like a no-brainer. And she kept talking about it. And then I also have a lot of dimensions and other like, kit stuff. So I thought, I would benefit from having Saga. So then after the cross stitch meetup, I think, when was it? Maybe the first Saturday or the second Saturday of March. After I came back, I just had a little pondering, and then I just bought it off the iTunes store or whatever store. And I had like a few dollars still on the account. So the Saga was $17.99 Australian dollars. And with that credit, I paid $14.20. And after I got the app, Laura sent me like a couple of Saga files. So one was Winter Cabin, the one I'm stitching with Laura. And another one is Paris in Flowers. But then I thought, oh, damn, now I have to replicate the progress I've made onto Saga, and I have to manually select everything I've stitched. And that took a couple of days, and I was very grumpy by the end of it. But before that happened, I was trying to play around with the software, but I just couldn't quite figure out how to do it. So she actually filmed, I think, 4 or 5 clips of like the little tutorials on, you might use this function, that function, and this does this. And if you want to do something, this is how you do it. So that was very helpful. So thank you, Laura. And then I think she also sent me like other Saga files of the cross stitch kits that I've got. Like the ones she knew of, the kits that I've got already. I haven't even loaded them onto Saga yet. Anyway, So that's how I spent like the next couple of days after I got Saga. And after that, plus she also said, if you compile all the kits, like Dimension kits I got, then she'll find all the Saga files for those and send them all to me. So I think I'll have to find some time and go through all the kits. This is kind of like life update-ish now. So we kind of changed up a bit of the, I guess, organization side of things in the study. So now I've got a little bit of space to play around to put like all the cross-stitching stuff there. So I still need to do that to like clean and clear and relocate. And hopefully by doing that, I can, I guess, check what kits I got and then just send the information all across to her. So after that, I also got a couple more things. So this was very random. It was literally like during a break at work. I was just eating my stuff and decided to go on Amazon. I don't know why, but I just went on Amazon. I thought, okay, I'll just have a look at some Dimension kits, see what prices they are. And I was just, browsing and then thought, they have this like Amazon Smile deal or something going on. And it might have been last week, towards the end of the week, like a Thursday or whatever, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. And I thought, okay, it ends on Sunday. Let's see what they've got. So I kept browsing and then I saw a couple of kits that were quite discounted. And then I was like, oh my God, should I buy them? They were like really good price. And then from start checking on Amazon to putting them in the cart to paying for them, it probably took like 3 minutes. And then that's it. So I got 2 Dimensions Gold collection kits from Amazon, the sales. I got the Wind Moon Fairy and then the Spring Fairy. The Spring Fairy was the one that I'm not quite sure of. So Dimensions has like a series of fairies. There's also Autumn Fairy that's really pretty and a Summer Fairy. Yeah, now there's a Summer Fairy now. But I feel like Spring Fairy is the ugliest of them all. But I definitely knew I wanted the Wind Moon Fairy. It's just so nice. Especially that face, it's so delicate. Whereas this Spring Fairy's face looks slightly psychotic. I don't know, like a bit psychopathic. But I do eventually want to collect them all because I thought it would be pretty cool if you have like a little corner and you just change up whatever's on display based on the seasons. I'll just go through the prices. So the Spring Fairy, I bought it for $38.39. Don't mind the door. JP is going through the door in and out. So normally I think on Amazon it's about $60-ish. But I know... Oh, hey. You're just like... You're impacting my video recording.
Keep it all in.
Oh my God.
Keep it all in. I'm gonna take it out. Leave that beat.
So the... what was I saying? Thanks, JP.
Sorry.
So this one normally is, I think, about $60 on Amazon. And I'm talking in Australian dollars. And I know there's one person on Facebook in Australia that sells it for $35, and she has like selected kind of kits, so it's not everything.
Sure.
And I could get it from her, but then I have to pay shipping on top of that. Then it's not like that much cheaper anymore. And then normally there's another Dimensions seller in Victoria. It's called JM Embroideries, and they sell it for $54.95, pretty much $55. And then this one I got for $47.69, and now it's gone back up to 60-something dollars. And if you don't want it from Amazon, like in other Australian places, this Wind Moon Fairy tends to sell for about 70-something. So I thought it's a really good deal. That's how I quickly decided to just pick them both up. And because of these two, I spent another $86.08. So now I'm $22.55 in debt. Now, since we're talking about Dimensions Gold Collection, if you're in Australia and you like Dimensions Gold Collections, and we're not talking about like some old designs, you just want to buy a brand new, check JM Embroideries. Sometimes they have some kits for really good prices, and I've never been there, but I think it's a little, I guess, needlework store in Morwell, so in the Gippsland area in Victoria. And yeah, they sell a lot of Dimensions designs, but they also sell other things. I just feel like the other things aren't as good price in comparison. Otherwise, check Amazon. Sometimes you can get really good deals, especially for whatever reason, some kits are like dirt cheap. I'm saying like dirt cheap, like $20. And normally they sell for like $40, $50 somewhere else. I don't even know why they're so discounted on Amazon. And also JK's cross-stitch supplies. So JK's tends to keep things on the lower prices, especially some of the like gold petite ones. JK's tend to make them very reasonably priced. The only thing is, I think her shipping is on the more expensive side. I guess because she doesn't get a lot of profits from selling the actual goods, then she has to charge you the actual postage, if that makes sense. So she doesn't like, I guess she doesn't like cop the loss from giving you cheap postage. But because of that, if you only buy like a couple things, you might not save a lot of money because of postage. So that's also another store you can check out. What else? So I think that's the end for haul. I am really hoping I'm not buying anything the next several months, because I am planning to save that up and buy make a big purchase after a while. And I will tell you a bit more in details later when the opportunity presents itself, because yep, I will talk about that. So that's the end of the haul. After everything's all filmed and I was editing, and I suddenly remembered that there's a very important thing that I did not touch on at all. So I have mentioned that I have finished Chicks Will Fly, and it was going to be a present for my boss, and I went to the frame store and framed it. And because I knew it was going to be gone, then I filmed a little clip of what it looked like, I guess in a bit more detail. So it's like a minute or so video. I will insert it here. I went to this store that used to be something else, and then it changed management, and now it's like a chain. And it was I talked about it in the last video. It was more expensive than I expected, but I really liked the result. I just don't know whether it's worth the money, if that makes sense. As in, it's good, just possibly not the money's worth good. Anyway, either way, it's done. The framed project is nice, and I gifted to the boss. And I will also include a photo of the framed Chicks Will Fly on her desk. And I feel like this is pretty much the only satisfying reaction of someone that really liked the gift. Yeah, because I think most of the gifts were kind of given to them not face to face. So it tends to be either given by someone else, and I just kind of got the reaction, I guess, secondhand, or it was like a wedding gift or whatever, so they didn't open it in person. But my boss was literally like, so this is how it went. I went to her office. I asked whether she was busy, and she said no. And then I said, I've got a gift for you. And she got really confused, and she was like, why? Kind of dubious. And then I whipped this like yellow framed thingy out, and then her face just blossomed into like pure delight and surprise. And she was like, oh, look at that. And because it had like hello my chickens on there, that's like exactly what she said. I think she was just in awe, and she was so happy. And then when all the supervisors were in like this office that I work in, she kind of came around with this little project and showed everyone. She's like, oh, look at what I got today. And then 2 weeks later, literally like this Wednesday, she came in again, and she was like, hello my chickens. And she said, oh, I'm still very surprised whenever I saw the chicken, because I don't come on site every day, and it's like, it's just a pleasant surprise. So I feel like this is the only satisfying reaction that I got ever, even though I've given so many gifts, I think. So that's the update, and now go back to the video. And then we can talk about like whips. So this month I worked on 4 whips, and that tends to be, I guess, the number of whips I work on in a month. Because if you know me, anything not to do with stitching itself, if I am not just grabbing something and stitch, I hate that. So I don't like sorting threads, prepping fabrics, figuring out anything to do with not actually stitching.
Yeah.
So I want to minimize sort of fluffing around with like, oh, I'm going to take this project off and put the other one on. So I want to minimize that as much as possible. So you won't see me changing projects like every 2 days. That's not me. And for this month, I actually did a lot of stitching because, so it's been 27 days since the last update, so almost 4 weeks, and I only had 2 days without stitching.
Here.
And altogether, I stitched 48 hours, which was crazy. So yeah, I am really productive stitching time-wise, but actually being productive, I don't know, it's up to you, you decide. I think I might skip asking you a question this video. I just remembered that because I haven't really thought of a question to ask you. Maybe you have a question you want to ask me in the comment section so I can answer. But yeah, this video, let's just ignore the question. So, okay, we can go the actual project. So, the first thing I worked on this month was Scrap, Taddy, and Pip. I need to find the preview. This is the preview. So it's a kit I got for my birthday last year from my father-in-law. And I think he just went to some kind of crafting store and asked for a cross-stitch something. And this is the only kit they got. It's very cute. And I don't think it's super easy to find. It's kind of a niche one. And I've been stitching it for a little bit. I think since October possibly, or November. Maybe October. And I'm not using the kit fabric, but I'm using the kit thread. The reason being, one of the pinkish so-called DMC thread stained the Ada. So this one was supposed to be stitched on 14 count Ada, white Ada I think, but I'm stitching it on a piece of hand-dyed fabric. It's Raindrops from Pole Stitches, and it's a 28 count, so I'm stitching it 2/2. And this is my progress. So last time when you saw it, I think, what's his name? Pip. This is Pip. Pip wasn't quite done yet. Maybe it was halfway or something, but now Pip is completely done. And now I'm working on the plate. And I'll just get it closer and there will be a comparison photo. And then I'll get it closer to you, because why not? Look. So yeah, unfortunately, and I keep complaining about it over and over again, the actual colors of the stitching are so different from the preview. In preview, you just think the dogs are completely white, whereas now it's kind of grayish, much darker. It is very cute. The back stitching really brings out the fluffy nature of these dogs. It's amazing. Yeah, awesome. And what else can I tell you? I think last time I was complaining this one was being progressed very slowly because I was stitching it bottom up. And that's not how I would prefer to stitch. I tend to go up and down instead. And yeah, I'm hoping I would do the plate first and then somehow find the position of the head and then stitching it downwards. Because from bottom up, it's just too difficult for me. And check it here. Oh, jeez. I stitched this one for 6 days and it's 8.5 hours, so 8.5 hours. And I will put like the schedule of the stitching days like somewhere. And then the next one I stitched was Paris in Flowers. Now, you might remember that I mentioned this is one of the projects that I loaded on Cross Stitch Saga. That's one. This is a 𝓕𝓾𝓏 kit. It's also a gift from my friend for my birthday a few years ago. And just recently when I saw her, she just casually asked, "Have you finished the kit I gave you yet?" And I said, mate, do you know how big it is? Do you know how long it will take me? It'll probably take me years. So yeah, this is the one. Unfortunately, well, I don't know whether it's unfortunate, but Dimensions now has a kit that looks very similar to this. And if I didn't have this particular one, I would probably go for the Dimensions one. I just like how Dimensions kit their chart. It just, yeah, it's very 3 dimensions for me. So, what can I tell you about that? Oh yes, so I was talking about Cross-Stitch Saga. This one was particularly hard to load on Cross-Stitch Saga because I was using GoodNotes. So I took a picture of the chart and just imported the picture as a PDF kind of, and just sort of, freestylely mark off the stitches as I go. And it was very random. So there was no structure to how or where I stitched. So there could be like random missing colors everywhere. And I had to go back and forth to, I guess, transfer the progress to Saga. So that one took ages. But before, I had no idea or no way of knowing like what percentage I was at. So once I pretty much fully loaded the project, I saw I was like 11 point something. So that was nice. It's more than 10%. So yep, I will just show you where I'm up to. Now this is a big one. It's, I want to say it's like 320 by 200 and something. I mean, I can check Saga now. It will probably tell me. So the stitch count on this is 81,144 stitches. So that's what? It's like 330-ish by 240, something like that. So it's a big one, and it's also on 18 count Ada. And this is where I'm up to. I kind of tried to fill, because I started in the middle and then I just kept working up. So I was hoping to completely finish page 2, but because I was using like the GoodNotes method, so going across pages was a bit harder. Anyway, maybe I'll do like this. Oh my gosh. Like this. So the original plan was to fully finish page 2, which is possibly like here. But because now I've got Saga and I can move like all over the place, so page is not a problem anymore. I kind of just moved this way to so-called page 1. I think for my brain, filling up the left is better. So I'll put a comparison photo as well. And we can get a bit close and personal. So let me just change to my notes. As you can see, I always use my trustworthy 𝐤𝐤𝐩𝐸𝐻 hoops, because that's how big it is. And technically I can do some back stitching here, but I sort of want to wait for a bit longer until I can do a bit more back stitching before doing some. There are not many spots at all. But yeah, I filled out more here. I pretty much left this area not touched. So I tend to do like, don't know, kind of not color completing, but I'll just finish the color on my needle. So if there's not enough here to use up the color, I'll just go down here. So it's kind of here and here that I focused on. And I'm really dreading this bit because it's just boring colors, like a light blue and some kind of grayish color all the way until you hit the Eiffel Tower, and hate it. So boring. But eventually I'll get to it. So that's quite nice, and I can give you some figures. Where are my figures? And I need water again. Okay. So for this one, I worked on it for 7 days, and the calendar or the schedule will be here. Altogether, it's 11 hours and 45 minutes. This is kind of roughly. And I wrote, or I calculated, I did 1,256 stitches. I wrote give or take because while I was stitching, I noticed some of the mistakes of the progress transferred. So I could have taken some off or added some in at different points. So I roughly did 1,200 stitches-ish. And I said before, when I kind of finished transferring the progress onto Saga, I was at 11 point something. So now I'm at 12.6%. I don't know whether I'm stitching faster because of Saga or not, but at least there's no back and forth of like, okay, I'm in between a page, so I have to go check here and compare to make sure, you know, this is the same color of different rows and stuff. So possibly I'm faster. And also with Saga, it's crazy because there is a mode of the app to count how many stitches it has. Like, for example, if I guess a symbol goes like 4 here and like 5 here, it will tell you 4, 5. So you don't even need to think sometimes. You just turn that mode on and you just stitch. Don't need to count even, which I thought was crazy. I haven't used that yet, but I guess when my brain is dead, maybe I'll turn that on and use that. So I can just stitch away. And what else can I tell you? And that's it for this project. Now the next project, the next 2 projects actually, I kind of stitched them rather than in like block of one, block of the other one. It's kind of back and forth, and I'll tell you why. So the next one technically I stitched on was Spring Will Come. It is a full coverage chart by 𝐷𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 It's not a designer. They are fully licensed, and the artist for this art is called Vetus, I think. I got this chart because it's like a Chinese themed chart, and I put it away for a long time. I feel like last time I took it out might have been like a year ago, maybe more than a year ago. I don't remember. Yeah, I was dreading it because setting it up on the Lowry stand was how do I say this in a civil way? It was a big effort. I originally wanted to do it by myself, and then I kept making mistakes. I didn't figure out how to do the stretcher bars. and I like put it other way around. So it took me probably, and JP, like an hour and a half to finally set it up. And it was also annoying because before my mum came and she kind of changed the setup of different things quite a bit. So my previous stitching spot now no longer exists, and I had to like find a different place for it, if that makes sense. So yeah, the whole thing took probably 2 hours. So even though I was hoping to stitch it 2 hours later, I found time. So I'll actually preview first. So preview here, and in the meantime, I will grab that. So it is loaded on a quantum frame. And there is the progress. Now it's stitched on 16 count Aida. And I am just doing it from top to bottom, left to right. So now I'm happy to report that the first 2 pages are completely done. Oh, Jesus, I've just got like crap everywhere. I think I still have previous progress. And I'll put it like up and down. This is the only way, possibly. Because of the location of like, the distance between the edge of the stitchable area to like this bit, I don't think I stitched anywhere here. So possibly stitched here, up there, obviously. And I think the middle is around here. So, yep. It's really nice. I'm still at the sky and the moon stage. I can't wait to stitch the actual person, which might be like here-ish. Because then I get to tap into the pink, the reds, the exciting colors. So I'm still enjoying stitching it. The only thing is, yeah, the colors are a bit boring because it's literally just the blue-ish area and the whitish area. And I can't wait to get to this bit. And what else can I tell you? It's on 16 count Aida 2/1. And this is the quantum frame with stretcher bars. And I don't know why this bit is much longer than that bit. Okay, so now that you've seen the progress, I can tell you something. So I was stitching on this after I set everything up. So I stitched on it for quite a few days, and they were like quite long period of time of stitching. And after that, my neck and shoulder were so screwed. It was so painful. And I was thinking, oh, what did I do? What did I do? And then I thought, okay, it must be this. Because when you stitch it, it's like you have to go and reach all the way to the top, and it's quite far away from like the edge of the frame. So I guess I just naturally lifted up my right shoulder, and for long, like extended period of time, it just kind of maybe twisted a certain way and caused a lot of pain. And then I had to like leave it for a few days and stitch on bunnies. And that's how, you know, I kind of didn't stitch just Spring Will Come for a block of time. And what else can I say? Let me grab my notes. So I also wrote I'm not happy with the position of my iPad. So I'm not sure whether I'll give you like a video of like the stitching area. So the iPad is on a stand that can't move 360. So it can only move certain way, like this way and this way. And the way it's positioned, I have to like turn to the right to read it quite a bit. So I think that didn't help with the neck and shoulder situation as well. And because of the pain, and at the whole section, I said I wanted to save money and buy something else. So I contacted Gus from Gus Custom Creations. I have his table stand and it was very well made. So I put my name down for the luxe kind of like floor stand. And when I said I put my name down, because there's like a leading time, because he's only just producing it by himself. So he said right now the waiting time is 4 to 6 months, but depending on situations, maybe he could shorten some process during manufacturing. The waiting time could be shorter, but for now it's 4 to 6 months, which I thought would work for me because, you know, hopefully I can build up my hobby budget for a bit. And that's another random thing. It's just because of the pain, I just suddenly went on a whim and decided, okay, I need a new floor stand. And that's possibly the end of this one. And I'll give you some figures. So Spring Will Come, I stitched for 6 days. And altogether it's 17 hours and 15 minutes. So quite a long time. And I picked it up again from 10.4%. And now it's 13.4%. So I stitched 3%. And in terms of the number of stitches, it's 1,910 stitches. Which is pretty cool. Like I never thought about it in stitches. Because when I stitch, it's always about the amount of time. But when you calculate it all together, yeah, it's almost 2,000 stitches, which is quite a bit. Anyway. And then, like I said, the next one, or sort of at the same time, I was working on bunnies. It is a PDF chart by 𝐈𝐦𝐩𝐿𝐈𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐷𝐸 gift for a friend who designed the channel, like, I guess, figure kind of cartoon logos for JP and I. And I also made it like a featured or a focus piece for this year. So I need to work on it every month. The goal is to finish it this year, but I don't think so, just because the percentage calculation doesn't quite work for it to be finished this year. But I'm hoping to get it like really close to being finished. Anyway, so let's see what I can say. I will just show you this, I guess. So that's where I'm up to. And there will be a comparison photo on the left. And this one is stitched on 16 count hand-dyed Aida called Blue Sky. It's hand-dyed by an Aussie dyer called Paddock Lane Designs. It is not a full coverage project. So, what can I tell you? This time I mainly stitched on the wreath. So I poured in some time, but not a lot of progress was made. Just because the wreath was not very nice to stitch on. It's very confetti heavy. And so that branch is completely done. I think this bit might be done too. I was just trying to complete one branch at a time. So pick out the colors that I haven't completed and then go everywhere else. So I don't know whether this bunny's completely done. Well, let's say this bunny is done. Maybe the wreath at the bottom isn't quite done yet. So this is like the other bunny. I think the ear is here. So it's looking really cute. Just don't look too closely because the stitches themselves aren't very flat and well laid. Give you some figures, I think. So with this one, I stitched for 7 days. There were some overlapping days between Spring Will Come and the bunnies. And I worked on it for 10 and a half hours. So before, when you saw it, it was at 46.3%. Now it's 51.1%. So I made 897 stitches, almost 900, but not quite. And that's all I worked on this month. And I just remembered last time in the video I was saying, oh, I want to show you my project bags, you might be interested. And then I showed you one and then forgot about the rest. And afterwards when I was editing, I thought, oh my God, I literally did not deliver what I promised. So I almost forgot this time again, but suddenly remembered. Which ones do I have here? So bunnies had this one, this project bag. It's supposed to be girl power. I was hoping to put like the smaller-ish ladies in the future in this one. And it's made by Basic Llama, the Basic Llama on Etsy. I think she's from Sydney. And that's a little zipper pull. So it's just like a vinyl front, girl power. I think it might be 12 by 12 inch. I don't know. It's like on the smaller side. It's, to be honest, it's a little bit too small than I'd like. I like bigger project bags. So that's what I use for my bunny project. And then I've got this, I think it's called Juju's Carry All. Something like that from JK's Cross Stitch Design. I put 2 projects in there. So Paris in Flowers is in the inner one, and Peep, what is it called? Scrap, Taddy, and Peep. The doggy project is on the in the outer pocket. So 2 projects in one. And clearly that Spring Will Come is just so big. So once it's put away, it's kind of scrolled together in a dust bag. Is it a dust bag? Do you call it dust bag? I think so. Scroll bar bag. And that's it for stitching update or whip update. And in terms of stitching plans, so I said I tend to talk to Laura quite a bit, and she told me, because I don't watch FlossTube very much, she said Lindsay from Blushing Pink Stitches has 2 themed months. I literally have to read it on my notes because otherwise I don't remember. So she said in April, the challenge is to only stitch kits, and the June challenge is being a monogamous stitching month. So Laura's going to do the 2 months, and I'm kind of still thinking. I think the April one is easy because I have 8 whips and 6 out of 8 are kits. So that's cool. And if I were to be monogamous in June, I could only stitch on bunnies. And to be monogamous on that project, it could be playing with fire because that might actually get rid of my stitching bug, depending on my mood. Because it could... It's like a project that has heaps of confetti and also at the same time very blocky. These are like 2 stitching bug killers in one project. So for now, I haven't decided whether to do the challenge with Laura or all the other people or not. But if I were to go ahead with it, at least in April, I think I'm going to clearly leave the bunny one because it's not a kit. So I might end up working on Scrap, Teddy and Pip, Winter Cabin, because I want to stitch on it with cross stitch Saka and see how fast it will make my stitching, since it can also track back stitching, and I do want to do some back stitching as well. And also, what else do I want to stitch? I will probably stitch Lantern Festival, and what's the other kit I might work on? The other one I haven't decided, but definitely these 3. Yep. Yeah, I think I just need to think about it for a couple more days and then decide. I gotta decide soon, since April is so close. And what did I write again? Also, last video, I did ask for your opinions on what I should do with the countryside because I have thought about UFOing it. And now I have decided I won't UFOing the project just yet. I will give it a final go just because I saw the preview after I finished the first row of pages. Directly the second row on the left, that page has lots of leaves. I think that might be interesting to stitch rather than the last few pages of the first row. It's literally just a lot of white and sky and stuff, very boring. So I might see whether I would enjoy it then. And if I still don't want to keep working on it, I might just find someone to take the project over. And thank you for all your suggestions, and someone even said they would take over, but I don't know whether that person is in Australia or not. If you're not, that would be very difficult for me to send it over because it's super expensive. And then also JP and I will be going on a little holidays to the Great Ocean Road, and it's pretty much the place you should go to if you come to Victoria for traveling purposes. We both have been there on different occasions, maybe together or separately, but we've never really gone through it properly. So I have been twice. The first time was literally a day trip, and it was in a bus, and I had car sickness. So half of the journey, I just felt like gagging. So I didn't really enjoy that trip at all. I didn't see a lot of the things. I didn't even get to enjoy some food. And then the second time was when we got married. My parents came and my cousin and the cousin's wife came. So then we all went for like a 2-night trip. They didn't want to keep going, like to finish all the Great Ocean Road. So we ended up just stopping at the 12 Apostles and went back. And so that kind of didn't quite finish the trip either. So this time we decided to do it properly. And we are going to stay like along the way for 4 nights. So that means stitching during that week will take a hit. And we also need to settle the dog. So we've found a dog sitter, which was the same dog sitter as last time when we went back to China to see my parents. So I know the dogs will be fine with the couple. And so that will happen like a day before the trip. And then after we come back, you know, it's going to be a lot of cleaning and unpacking and stuff. So that whole week, not sure how much stitching I'll get done, but I'll still bring some stuff with me. And I'm thinking I might make a little vlog as well, just because it is a really, really nice kind of windy road, very picturesque. And I hope the weather will be kind to us, because it can get really cloudy there. Apparently I don't get a lot of sunny days if it's not like summer. So we'll see. And what else? Oh, JP, I forgot to show your thing.
That I join it?
I forgot to show JP's progress on his project. So I'm just going to call him over.
I'll just stay behind you.
So he is still working on his one and only project, Mighty Samurai.
People must be getting so bored of this.
Not really.
Awaken.
And that's what it looks like. It's an older Dimensions Gold collection kit with a very handsome man
And a peacock.
and a peacock.
Completely unrelated.
Very colourful. And
Yeah.
you stitch on it one day?
Yeah. When you're doing this.
So we did a stitch with me 2 weeks ago, something like that. And that's the pro. Is that the same orientation? Correct? Yeah. So it's still the belt. And he told me he did some black. And I'm pretty sure I'll have a progress.
There on the far right, that big bit of
bit?
black. Yeah, I did that. That's like the
blob of
inside
black.
this sleeve of the shadow. I just felt like I could do it quite quickly.
I can't see anything, so.
Yeah, but I'm pretty happy with that.
I think you can tell. Yeah, if you really squint.
Yeah, you can kind of see the beginning of his sword.
Is that sword?
Well, if we do another stitch with me in April, I'll be able to do some more. But yeah, hopefully.
There we go.
Quite calming, quite fun. I mean, right now I'm painting quite a bit, but maybe when I finish that, I might be able to actually even do this just as regular hobby. You know. Yeah.
Don't think so.
Don't think so?
Nah. You still find a lot more joy in your little figurines, which is fine.
We'll put that joy.
And I need to get this video done quick because soon there's going to be another nerd coming to play with little toys.
Yes, we're going to have a battle and we're going to record it and make a video as well. It's video production day.
Yep.
I don't think I'll wear the ears though.
Nah, don't.
All right.
Sayonara.
Bye. Don't.
Okay, now it's life update. And if you're not interested in our lives, I will just bid you goodbye. Otherwise, I'll just keep blabbering for a little bit. So I have made a YouTube community post about the fact that we have upgraded our PC, and JP's literally on it right now. Are you editing?
Yep.
To edit his video. And before, we were just using his personal PC. Plus, I think he sometimes uses his work laptop. Did I say PC? So his personal laptop, or he uses his work laptop to edit. And I think before it was fine, but now our videos are getting quite long, and we tend to put a lot more like editing stuff in it. And the laptop is getting old. So like everything, all the processes take longer and longer, and eventually doing like a little bit of something lags so much. So I finally bit the bullet and we just went to Sculptech and bought a whole setup of PC stuff. So we got very fancy curved monitors. I'm pretty sure I took a picture, so I'll insert some pictures here. And we also got like ready-made tower with like the specs we like. We even went up the budget a little bit just to get like a better version of it. I decided to do it because I don't want to get something that's subpar and then a couple months later it's not quite enough, then you have to upgrade it again. It's just going through all the hassle. So you might as well get it somewhere acceptable so it just extends the period of time when you're thinking about upgrading again. And yeah, I made that stitch with me video, half because I feel like I need to put a video out, half because I want to test the editing process. And first of all, it's really cool having a much larger screen. And before we had like the laptop screen plus a bigger screen on the side, so you kind of have to like turn your heads quite a bit. But with the curved screen, we only had one, and it's like 34-inch. So you don't need to turn your heads too much because it's kind of, it's quite like consistent without being too far away. So you just turn your head a little bit, and the video editing area is really long, so you don't have to go like zoom in or zoom out to get to a particular section. And the most surprising bit was the rendering. I was complaining to Laura that these days when I render, it generally takes 2 to 3 hours. And then the whole uploading process takes like overnight or something to YouTube. But that stitch with me video that I did, granted, did not have a lot of editing involved, but I was, trying to export it, and then I was doing something else, looking for whatever, and before I knew it, it was done. I mean, it was like more than an hour. No, it was like about an hour, but it possibly was finished in like 15 minutes being exported. And it was so sudden, I didn't even notice until I realized, the kind of, there's like a little icon, you could tell whether something is working or not. It just finished. I was like, huh? Really? Can it be possible? But yeah, it's done. So that was really amazing. And I hope I will enjoy the editing process for this video as well. And then after the car saga from JP's dad, we have another car accident saga. This time it's about JP's car. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, I suppose there's not your update, but now you've got me. You want me back?
You want to talk about poor Hyper?
Oh yeah, Hyper's the name of, because it's a Hyper Blue Subaru XV. So, but yeah, it was parked while I was at work at the train station, and someone hit the car in front of me, and that car then bumped my car, and my car bumped the car behind. Kind of a chain reaction. The car in front was absolutely destroyed.
It was a very nice convertible Audi white little car.
Mm-hmm.
Completely smashed at the front. You could see the engine and everything.
Yeah, it was not good. But then mine was just bumped in the front and the back. So the parking sensors are kind of not working at all. But yeah, so that's...
So it's like everything's still there except like the caps for parking sensors. And
nothing quite fits.
Yeah, so everything's kind of shifted. So you can see like gaps in different places. But it's still drivable. It's just...
Gotta get it fixed.
We don't know when it can get fixed. We don't know how much it will cost to get it fixed.
Gotta get a guy to look at it. But unfortunately, it's Easter, which in Australia is a whole bunch of public holidays. So that means it's not a good time to try and find someone to look at your car.
So, yep. I don't think we're in luck with any automobiles.
Well, at least it didn't hit me. I could have Audi.
Yeah, we were talking about it's unlucky but lucky at the same time because it could easily be his car that was completely smashed. Because JP was saying that Audi car was just in front of him for a bit. So that car parked first and then JP parked behind him.
I could have been parking where he was.
And also, like, he saw the guy coming out of the car. They had a smile because they had to rush to get to the train. So knowing that, Jesus, and the shock and disappointment of him finishing work, getting out of the train, and see this is the damage of the car. Distraught. He's gonna be in distraught.
Yeah, the other person. Yeah, I was just annoyed. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yep.
At least I could drive away. The other guy couldn't drive away.
Yep.
Anyway, there's an update for you.
Yep. And then I just wrote about that Great Ocean Road trip and the possibility of doing a little vlog. So, yep. And that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else, really. So I might just end it here because it is 1:06 and 1:30 that guy is going to come and do a battle with JP. And yeah, I don't know whether I will see you before the next cross-stitch update. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure whether I'll insert like my updated stitching corner kind of clip into this video, or just make a separate video talking about it. But yeah, I did a couple of Instagram posts this month, so much better than previous months. And if you're interested, the Instagram details is down below. And as always, I will put all the links down if I can find them. So if you're after some information, most of the time it should be down in the description box. If not, just comment below and let me know. And if you have enjoyed this long video of me blabbering, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And time for me to get hydrated because my throat is on fire. And I'll see you in the next one.